Today on Big Brother Rewind, Shane is once again in charge of the house. Does this mean Frank and Boogie's days are numbered? And how will this week's Fast Forward shake up the house? Having reached the halfway point, who has the best chance of making it to the Final Four? All this and more on this week's Big Brother Rewind.
Welcome everybody to another Big Brother Rewind. I'm your host Andrew Zarian, and as always, I'm joined by Jessica here in studio. How you doing, Jess?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Very exciting week in Big Brother as I try to lower the music because I don't have controls of the from the computer, so it's I got to work magic. How you doing, Jess?
I'm good. How are you?
We missed last week.
Yeah.
Very disappointed. Many people were very upset at the fact that we were not live last week, but we're here. We're live.
We are live.
Of course, John is here also with us. How you doing, John?
Hey, what's up?
Big Brother expert, Big Brother fan, John.
Yep.
I find it,
I watch everything on TV.
Yeah, you're a big TV person, right? You watch everything.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean, not everything, but
you know what John does? And I'll tell you, this is what he does all the time, and I find it really fascinating. He goes on Twitter, and if you follow John, you can follow him at Suncast on Twitter. All his Twitter feed is him saying how every show on television sucks.
Yes.
So what show?
Especially America's Got Talent.
You hate that show.
Oh my God, that show is like one of the worst in the world.
So what
like,
shows?
That's worse than Big Brother Australia.
What do you like? What show is your favorite show, except for like Hardcore Pawn?
NCIS is good. I like that show. Castle with Nathan Fillion, which is a comic book cult classic dude.
It would have been great.
You can't go wrong with Nathan Fillion.
It would have been great if he said like Sesame Street.
So why would he say Sesame Street?
I just imagine him just staring at the wall and just waiting for Sesame Street to come on the following day. But this is Big Brother Rewind. This is a show where we recap everything that happened in the Big Brother house, everything going on the feeds, and some spoilers for the second half. I want to remind everybody, if you watch the show live and you miss some portions of the show, which it's possible, many people miss some aspects of the show if they're tuning in a little early or they got to leave early. If they're tuning in late, they got to leave early. You can go to our website, gfknetwork.com, and catch the archived show. We're also on iTunes, on Zune. I'm choking up. I'm so upset when I say the word Zune. I start choking up.
I see that.
On Zune. And everywhere else the podcasts are available. So definitely check us out at gfknetwork.com. Since last week we were not on the air, where should we pick up?
Well, we can quickly go through last week.
You want to run down last week, Jess, a little bit?
Oh,
Frank's HOH?
Well, during Frank's HOH, the Silent Six
was created,
and they all come together and they go, shh.
And that went away really quickly.
Holy crap, that was like the fastest beginning and end of an alliance I've ever seen in my life. It only lasted 1 week, and then it was over. And I mean, now if you're watching, it's over now. But last week, basically, the Silent Six comes about, and they're deciding, who to put up. They put up the nominations, and they decide whether or not they're going. Frank has an idea that he might backdoor Dan.
Dan might get backdoored, yeah.
So,
and that was kind of the plan.
Yeah.
Except that Silent Six actually started a little bit before that, because the whole point of Silent Six was actually getting enough votes to evict Janelle.
Yeah. That's when it started. Yeah. Well, we missed last week.
That was the week before.
Yeah, we missed last week.
And then Frank was already considering breaking the alliance to put Dan up in a back door. So it only lasted a week. It was the shortest alliance with a name that we ever saw. Usually alliances between a couple people, whatever they break up. But an alliance that actually had a name, it lasted a week.
Not even 6 days.
Yeah, it was the saddest.
So the whole backdooring Janelle came out of nowhere, in my opinion. And I think it was because Janelle's original team that she was coaching started hating her.
Yes. Will couldn't stand her.
But you couldn't see that on television. On TV, you really didn't get a vibe of her doing anything really that conniving. I mean, yeah, she tried to do a couple things, but it wasn't. I didn't look at her and like, wow, she's awful.
Right. It didn't come out really until almost till the point where we knew that she was going to leave. That's when we realized there was issues.
Well, she didn't even get makeup on for the renomination veto ceremony.
Yeah, she had no clue. I mean, she really did not see that coming. And time came to throw her out, and they throw her out. But that was the first major hit to the veterans, really. I mean, and it came out of nowhere, and the veterans were behind it. And they're the ones that really decided. It was Boogie and Brittany that wanted this to happen.
Well, she was playing both sides of the house. If you remember, she was going back and forth with Brittany quite a bit. And, you know, I feel like Brittany is such a strong player in this game. I really hope that she, like, tears it out and she wins this year. She's really...
Oh, you haven't seen what's happened on the live feeds, have you?
No. I missed.
When, today?
There's some good stuff that's happened this week on the live feeds, which I'll leave for spoilers.
Okay, so let's now go to Frank's HOH. Frank gets HOH. Shane was kind of panicking that he would go home, but there was that agreement between them.
Right.
That Shane, you know, he wouldn't put Shane up, and he didn't. He put Will and Joe up.
Right. Again.
Joe
has been up 1,000 times.
Joe goes up all the time.
Joe and Frank. Somehow they
Joe
keep
and Frank.
managing. Both of them just keep managing to slip right under.
It's time for POV. He wins POV. Frank doesn't change nominations.
Right,
and
but thinks about backdooring Dan.
Thinks about backdooring Dan, and that I'm really curious what would have happened if Dan went on the block. Who he would have taken off? He would have probably taken off Will.
He would have taken off Will. He would have put Jan up, and I think that Joe would have gone home.
Joe would have gone home
because Ian was the swing vote,
and
both sides of the house think that Ian is working
to the other side.
Right. So I think Dan and Boogie completely think that Ian is gullible and will do whatever they say. They're the cool guys, and Ian wants to be a part of it. Ian's really in on the other side of the house. He's working both sides, but he's really, really working with the other side of the house. And I think he would have stayed loyal to Dan. And I think that's when...
Well, him and a few of the other people have also formed what's called the Quack Pack Alliance.
The Quack Pack.
Yes, which involves quacking like this and coming together like quack, 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 quack. And then they come together into like a circle. But I don't know where that name came from.
Ian thought of that.
Yeah, because of the duck. No? The duck in the pool.
But
yeah.
What does the duck in the pool have anything to do with the Big Brother house?
Because it's always in the pool. The duck's always there.
So the duck never gets evicted?
The duck never gets evicted.
But the duck doesn't ever win.
He was originally going to call it the Duck Alliance, and they didn't like that, so they changed it to Quack Pack.
But the duck doesn't win $500,000.
No, but the duck is always there, so it's like a thing that's always in the Big Brother house. Like it would have been like the Zing Alliance.
Well, the Zingbot wasn't always there.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's a stupid name. It doesn't make sense. That's my 2 cents.
All their names are stupid.
Away.
Silent Six, Quack Pack, the Brigade.
Silent Six and the Brigade have something more to it. The Quack Pack makes it sound like a bunch of like 4th graders. Like,
well, what do you think that house is?
Yeah,
but John, let's go back to Dan being possibly backdoored. If Dan was backdoored and put on the block, what do you think the outcome of that would have been?
I have no idea. I mean, Dan's one of those guys that's trying to play everything very, very low key. Like he tries to go and manipulate people without them knowing it. He tries to plant these seeds where whatever he does doesn't ever fall back onto him. So he's always trying to maintain this low profile where he's not up for nomination or anything like that.
Yeah.
He's done well. He's done well with that. But they decide they're not going to backdoor Dan. Over whatever fear that they had, maybe possibly they don't have enough
Frank
votes.
Did not want to upset the balance of power with everybody in the house by nominating Dan.
I also think he didn't have enough votes.
He didn't want to risk it, which to me is like, dude, wasn't one of the first things he said in that first week was that if the coaches entered the game and he had the chance, he would nominate the coaches.
First, yeah.
He's been HOH twice now since they've been coaches. Neither time has he nominated a coach.
Yeah, he didn't. You're right. But who's he going to nominate? You know, Dan is the only coach that he really... I mean, Janelle's gone, and Dan is the only other one that he's not really that close with. So, I'm surprised he didn't go after Shane. I mean, that was a really dumb move. Because Shane has gone after him over and over again.
Well, he feels that so is Dan.
Dan has gone after him? Dan has not had...
That Dan has...
Dan hasn't been HOH.
I know, but Danielle was.
Oh, okay.
So I think that he associates it with Dan.
Okay.
And the way this game works right now is that they're still kind of paired up with coach and player, where Dan is still in large part in control of Danielle and Brittany is in control of Shane.
Right. Well, everybody's in charge of Danielle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's now fast forward a little bit to Eviction, and Will goes home.
Right.
Will's biggest problem was the fact that he did not know how to play the game.
No.
And he had no clue, and he stuck to his guns, and he did this whole thing where he's not going to attack anybody, he's not going to politic, he's not going to tell you what you want to hear just so you could hear it. He's going to actually play with the show.
Right.
His way.
I think he was trying to pull an Enzo. Play a complete social game.
I don't think so. I don't think Enzo had any. Well,
but Enzo was more likable.
Oh,
Also,
totally.
Will had something lacking. Like, he wasn't getting close to anyone. We don't see any of Will's personality really come through until he starts talking to Danielle.
He's
and telling,
an
like,
actor.
Backstory.
A very, very bad actor.
Yeah.
Who is this? Will?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
And he doesn't even really go into it very well. Like, he's some sort of like mall singer. Is that what happened when he was 16?
Oh, he said how he was like a
some
pop
story.
singer, right?
Right. He was some like mall celebrity or something.
Really? Yeah, I heard him say it, but I wasn't really.
And all I kept thinking of was Shabatsky from
How I Met Your Mother.
From How I Met Your Mother. That's all I could think about.
There was a story where after Will was evicted, they were talking about what Will did for a living or something like that, and apparently he opened for what was the guy's name? Something Carter, Aaron Carter, I think it was, and they were supposed to be all impressed by that. And I'm like, Aaron Carter? Nobody gives a crap about Aaron Carter. He was small time.
Right. Well,
who cares about opening for Aaron
Carter?
Carter?
Did he open for Aaron Carter currently, like recently?
No, not the New Kids on the Block. Aaron, his brother.
Oh.
His brother.
Like, what's the big deal about that? That's like peanuts.
Regardless, so he's gone.
He's gone.
And now it's time to crown a new
Jen's
HOH.
band was bigger than that.
Who? Oh, Kitty.
Jen's
Kitty was.
band, Kitty.
Oh, Kitty's a
Way
huge
bigger
metal
than
band.
Aaron Carter.
Oh, 100%. Kitty's a huge band.
And that hasn't really come out.
Has not even slipped because nobody knows she exists in the goddamn house.
Right. I keep forgetting she's there.
I do too. And you know what happens every now and then? Like, they'll show her on camera, and I'm like,
Who's that?
Who is that?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's Jen.
The fish on the live feeds get more airtime than Jen.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I think
and they're more interesting.
They are more. I don't know. Listen, who knows? Maybe the personality will come. Maybe she's a late bloomer. Who knows?
Well, the only personality part that we saw of her was sitting by herself crying and eating a slice of pizza.
And I'll tell you, you know what that is? It's that whole jail kind of mentality that you have in this house because it's like prison. You can't leave. They tell you what to eat. They tell you what to drink. You have alliances. People get eliminated. I mean, it's like prison.
Yeah. Eliminated and in prison, and when you get
killed,
you're killed. So it's like death row.
It's like death. No, it's just like you get shanked and you're dead.
Oh, that kind of die.
Julie Chan is like the warden.
I get
and
it.
like you get shanked, and then like she has to take you away. You know what has to be worse? Sequester. Like the jury house.
That's what I was thinking.
The jury house has to be a billion times worse than what's happening, unless like they don't tell you and they give them like television and they give them like internet access. Like that's the only way.
Well, they don't allow them. They can't have internet access because then they'll know what's going on in the house.
Yeah, I
guess. The point of sequester is that you can't. I mean, unless they give them like old DVDs or something to watch. Like I can't imagine sequester being any
Big
fun.
Brother season 11.
Right, they give you like this season. That would be really funny. But I think that
I mean, they do give them like DVDs of like things happening in the house.
Yeah, but it's very short. It's like 10 minutes.
But
like,
I mean,
but
that would have to be.
But
crazy.
I don't understand why everybody's like that's like a gift to like
go to the jury.
Go to the jury house.
I don't know.
Why is that a gift? I don't understand.
Because you don't even have anybody to talk to.
Right, I'd rather be nominated and evicted the week before.
Remember when Jesse was there for like a week and a half? It was like some insane long time he was there.
Right.
I could have swore, and I'm not too sure. I got this in an email. And they said how Jesse was there the longest because he was the first one to go in, and then they skipped an eviction 1 week. So he was there by himself for like 2 weeks. I don't know if that's true. I can't remember.
What would you do? What the hell
but
would
he's
you
so dumb. He probably stared at the wall and he was fine.
He stared at himself. Who are you kidding? That man was so in love with himself.
I loved him. He was great.
No.
He was great.
There was nothing lovable
So,
about that man.
HOH time. They're doing HOH competition, and the competition is this slip and slide concept behind it where they put like butter.
Which we've seen.
Crisco.
We've seen a
every
thousand times.
single season. It's just like, can Big Brother please have some damn originality when it comes to these competitions?
Well,
Let's not do a variation of the same damn competition that we had last year, and the year before that, and the year before that.
Well, I think what it comes down to really is that these games are very expensive to create. So when they can reuse them and just change the set, it's very simple. Like those big glass jugs, we've seen them before. We've seen the concept of this game before, but it just wasn't that color scheme.
You
It's
also
the
have to
same like the
remember-
pirate
week.
shit.
You also have to remember that the budget for this show is virtually nothing. It's summer programming. It's on 3 days a week, and I'm surprised it's on 3 days a week.
It used to be on 5.
It used to be on 5, but I'm really surprised it's on 3. And they haven't even upgraded their cameras. They're using the same old cameras they have since the beginning, the incarnation of the show. So before, I would rather see high-def cameras in there before new competition.
Last week they did the whole Zingbot thing, and they did the continuation of the story where instead of building the bride of Zingbot, they did the birth of
Right.
Zingbot's baby or
baby.
whatever, and it's just like
Right.
whoopee.
Well, the problem, or not the problem, but the part that I was curious about was how they did the Zingbot. But if you notice, not everybody got zinged by the Zingbot. Did
Well,
you notice that?
not on camera, not on the actual episode.
Well, do you think that they only zung the people on only the good one? Like, I don't know. I feel like it didn't do, like, if
It's
they're going to zing
CBS.
every person, I thought they were going to zing every person and show every person. It seemed like they didn't. They didn't do Dan. I mean, they didn't do Jen, but, well, they did something about Jen, right? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
They said something about Jen.
Nobody
and-
remembers Jen. She doesn't exist.
Right, but they didn't do anything. I thought it was weird that they didn't do anything about Dan. They didn't do anything about...
They didn't do anything with Will.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. It was very weird.
So
They
did
tweeted that they did something with Will, except that was a lie, and it never happened on the episode. So
did you go over who won the competition, or we haven't done that yet? Okay, because
We
I
haven't done
left.
that yet.
I left the room and I had to come back.
we've
So
been talking about Zingbot.
the way they did this competition is they put Crisco on the floor and they had to take water from one end from a barrel and put it in a little jug.
Right.
And
there
go back
was
and
three
forth.
That's what
jugs.
they've
There
done
was
every single
safety
year.
for the week, and it was a small jug, safety for the week. Then there was a medium-sized jug that was $10,000, and then there was a large jug that was HOH.
So this was really interesting to see who went after what.
Right.
Boogie, I knew he would not go after it, and he did. He went after the $10,000
Right.
that he won.
Right. I think Boogie knows he's not going to win this game.
Boogie doesn't want to win.
No, I think that Boogie's very aware that he's not going to win this game. I think that he's in it for the money. He was in it to win the 100,000, and I think what he's looking at it as, let me take all of the money possibilities that I can, get as much money out of this. I mean, he does make a lot of money already. He used his money from the All-Star win to open a few restaurants. So he has done very, very well for himself, but I don't think that it's even on his radar. I don't think he really is really there to play the game. We haven't seen him win anything. We
He's
haven't
there
really
to
seen
promote himself.
Yeah.
right himself, his restaurants, whatever. I don't see him trying.
But
for
he
anything.
did try. He tried and he did really well with the 10 grand, and he got the 10 grand. And if he had continued,
He was virtually the only one that went for 10 grand.
He was the only one. Period.
He's
He
the
was
only
in
one.
he was in a competition with himself,
But Dan and
Frank got pissed.
Frank did get pissed because Frank's saying, like, I'm carrying this team. We have this alliance, and he didn't even try to keep me safe. All he was thinking about is about himself, and to win that 10 grand. He knows that I'm a target,
Right.
and he's not even trying. So he was really pissed off. Dan and Brittany went after safety,
Yeah.
which Brittany got.
Brittany got, but if Dan had originally gone for HOH, he would have won.
He would have won. And it was actually, he was doing really well. And I was very surprised on how well he was doing it, because this was the first time he was actually trying in a competition.
Mm-hmm.
He's never tried before this.
Right.
And he tried, and he was doing really well. Brittany wins. He goes, oh no.
Right.
I got to now play for HOH. And he was doing unbelievable at this time. So at this point, it's a three-way race. It's Danielle, Shane, and Dan. Everybody else is like,
the problem
gone.
is you had to commit at the beginning to decide what jug you're going to fill, because after somebody filled one of those jugs, there's no way you're going to be able to catch up on any other jug.
If I was Shane, I would have gone for...
you were going to be screwed. Once Brittany won safety, nobody else had a chance at safety. Once somebody won the 10 grand, there was no way you were going to have enough time to start going to the HOH jug and start filling that up and actually be somebody who's been doing that since the beginning.
And you know what? Shane is actually really smart. I'm curious if he waited. What I would have done, I would have waited whoever went to see who goes for what, and then I would have decided which one I'm going for. Because both Brittany, which she did really well with this because she had balance, Brittany, Dan, and Boogie were out of it. And Frank's not competing. Of course Shane's going to win.
Right.
Shane was the only strong player competing to win HOH.
Right.
Certainly wasn't going to be Ashley.
It definitely wasn't Ashley.
Ashley.
Poor Ashley.
Oh, my Lord. It was, like, painful.
She was crawling around the floor. It's like some sort of
watching
cretin.
her. She was crazy.
She apparently still has this back problem or something like that. And supposedly she's not able to really do these competitions. But it's just like, why even bother? You've got no chance.
Literally, John.
And she went after HOH. She should have gone after safety.
Listen, she's so looped up on whatever medication she's on. It's fabulous. I want to. You know what I want to do? I want to be on I want to have a party with her, and I just want to see what kind of dry goods she's on. She has to be on this insane cocktail
regimen
of barbiturates and pain pills.
Quaaludes.
Because you know why there's no Quaaludes
She's
left?
an interesting
No, let me just tell you. You know why there's no more Quaaludes? Quaaludes have been out since the 70s. Because she has the entire stockpile of Quaaludes. She's great. I love her. She's my favorite in the house.
She's crazy.
Oh, she's the best.
And she made out with Frank.
She did make out with Frank. Yeah.
And I love that Frank's
Go ahead, John.
Go ahead.
I just love that Frank's big move is want to make out on the couch.
It's a great move.
It was
worked.
an excellent move. And he even said, he goes, 9 times out of 10 it works. Like, just come right out and be like, do you want to make out on the couch? And 9 out of 10 times it works. And I believe him. I totally believe him. And it worked. They went, they made out, smooch, smooch, smooch. And then Ian felt bad about it and asked her out on a date. And then they went on a very awkward pizza date.
Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
That whole segment, there was about 6 minutes of absolute crap.
Right.
Why Big Brother even decided to put that in the episode and kill 6 minutes of that versus doing something actually constructive and interesting is beyond me.
So now at this point, Shane wins.
Right.
By huge margins.
Right.
By the way, I gotta say, I loved seeing Danielle fall on her ass over and over again.
Oh, she was awful at it too.
Well, she did pretty well.
But
I could have
awful,
watched
but
her
she
all
did
day
pretty
fall
well.
on her ass.
Because she wasn't competing with anybody.
For HOH?
No, it was only. I mean, Ian was out of it. Ian couldn't do crap, but she was competing with Ian and Jen.
Yeah, Ian would have been great.
Well, how did
Zingbot one?
Ian would have been great at this. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that one. Shane now has to pick 2 people.
Right.
I'm surprised by the move he made. I don't even think he was considering this move at this point because I could have seen Joe going up and possibly Jen.
And then you backdoor one of them.
And possibly backdoor them, but don't say,
Right, you don't say
don't say anything.
Yeah, this would have been a perfect week to backdoor somebody.
What screwed up that entire plan was Ian came over to Shane and said, "You're the target. You and Brittany are the targets." It was actually, he went over to Brittany and said, "You and Shane are the targets." And Brittany's...
Right, because he's a spy for both sides.
He's a spy for
hearing
both
stuff
sides.
from Boogie and Dan and Frank about what's going on that side and reporting it back to Brittany and Shane.
Right.
And this was, I think Brittany was really surprised, but this showed who controls the house. I've said this from day one that Brittany is the strongest player in that house, and people think I'm nuts. But Brittany has made every major move in this house. She's been able to manipulate every HOH in there, even down to Frank.
Yeah, no, she's really good.
She is, and she doesn't want HOH, and she's smart because there's no blood on her hands. She's getting everybody else to do the moves, and it's brilliant. So she goes up to the HOH room and tells Shane, like, listen, we need to figure something out. We're the target. And Shane's saying, well, I kind of promised, we had that alliance thing where they're not gonna put me up. I'm not gonna put them up. Because, yeah, but that's over. We need to put them up. Boogie and Frank are nominated to go up, and Boogie's face was priceless. He did not see that coming.
No, he didn't. My goodness.
Which I'm surprised, because if you remember that first week when they were actually playing instead of being coaches, it was like the smart move would be to put me up as a nomination to be evicted. You should evict me. And now all of a sudden he's surprised that he's being nominated.
Because you know what it is? That's a defense mechanism. He would rather say that than to be caught off guard. So it's almost like, yeah, of course you should put me up. I would put me up too.
Right.
It's this kind of like this false security he creates for himself in his mind. I think at this point he was secure, and he didn't think he would go up.
Right.
And he definitely didn't think him and Frank would both be up.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically meaning that one of them will go home. So I don't know. I don't know who.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh, is that what the box is in the mystery box?
Maybe, who knows?
Box.
Nobody knows.
We don't know. But what we do know is that it's a double eviction this week.
Right.
Yes.
This is what screwed Jeff up, if you guys remember.
Right.
The shoe, the clown shoe.
The clown shoe.
Screwed up his game. It was a double eviction.
Damn clown shoe.
Was he HOH? Yeah, he was HOH.
Oh, yeah.
And they got rid of whoever. I forgot who it was. Kalia won. It was Brendan. I think Kalia won, right?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot who won.
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
All I remember is the damn clown shoe.
And it was a POV. I think it was a POV comp. Because they did everything, and he messed up, and he threw his own shoe, and he got evicted. So anything could happen at this point. When it's a double eviction, it kind of screws up your entire game, because you got to play HOH and POV same night. There's no time to politic. There's no time for someone to self-destruct.
Right.
You're over. It's done.
Right. It's ridiculous.
I could see Shane going home after this competition.
Yeah, I could too.
Well, it's not only that, but if we can talk about some spoilers here, over the course
wait.
of this
Let's give them 2 seconds. We are going to talk about spoilers now since we're halfway through the show. If you guys don't want to listen to this, you could tune in a couple days and listen to the spoiler. Now go ahead.
Over the course of this week, as everybody knows, Shane and Brittany have been working hand in hand in this game. Apparently, after these nominations took place, Boogie and Frank went up to HOH to confront Shane about this. Shane more or less kind of put the blame all on Brittany and more or less threw her under the bus. And all this got back around to Brittany, where she was hearing like, Shane threw you under the bus. Boogie's talking to Brittany now about this whole issue. So now there's this whole confrontation between Brittany and Shane in the parlor room, as far as them hashing out. Like, she's pissed off that he even said her name to Boogie and Frank.
Why did he do that?
To get the blame away from him.
Yeah, because let's give this spoiler out. POV competition. Frank won. He's taking himself off the block. Which he said he was
going to do. He guaranteed. I think Boogie guaranteed that either him or Frank was going to win POV.
I think, yeah. I mean, when your back is against the wall, you're more likely to.
And Frank is a great competitor. He's always good at doing this stuff, So he was absolutely going to win. We knew that.
By the way, do we want to talk about this whole POV situation that happened the other day?
The 8-hour.
This was a big,
go ahead.
This was a big deal for anybody that's paid money to see these live feeds. Is the fact that this whole veto thing, the whole veto competition, lasted nearly 7 hours, and we really don't have any idea what happened in those 7 hours, other than that there was enough time there for some of the house guests to actually take a 2-hour nap.
So they took a nap where? Like they dropped out and they took a nap?
No, nobody knows, because they left the feeds to fishies for 7 hours. So we don't know how long the competition really was. It could have been a 2-hour competition, a 3-hour competition. Then they had a 2-hour nap, and then they left everything for another hour before they even came back to the house from fishies.
That's interesting.
Wow, that's so ridiculous.
Nobody knows, and a lot of people, a lot of live feeders are really upset about this, because there's absolutely no explanation as to why the feeds were set to fishies for 7 hours.
For 7 hours,
Right.
we don't even know how long it was. But regardless, Frank won. Frank.
It was some poker-like competition that lasted supposedly 5 rounds, so they had to use like marshmallows to bet with.
5 rounds is not 7 hours
No,
of
it's
gameplay.
All right. Well,
Frank-
I guess we'll have to watch to find out.
Frank takes
And
himself off.
Joe even thinks that Big Brother helped Frank cheat in the game, and he confronted Big Brother about it, and Big Brother's not doing anything about it.
Yo, what's his theory?
He thinks that Big Brother is helping Frank stay in the game.
Well, that's what I always thought too.
Well,
was my big
I
thought.
think there's a lot of stuff going
Which I
on.
think is a valid argument, considering how many times he's escaped from the block.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably his 4th time escaping from the block.
I think they're trying to create a new all-star, and they see Frank as doing that for them. So I can see them wanting to keep him.
Yeah, because who do you have? Who do you have as like strong players from Big Brother Pass over the last, from Big Brother 10 on?
Right.
Not much. I mean, really. Jeff?
Did you guys see the fluff piece about Joe's family?
Yeah, I
the other week
saw
on
that. I
Thursday,
saw
think?
that.
That was really interesting, because I love the fact that his kid, who's like 7 or 8 years old, is like, he needs to lie more.
Yeah. I love that too.
I was like, and then he called him out for his whole goatee. He said he needs to shave off his goatee.
Right.
And this is coming from his little 7-year-old kid.
Well, I think a lot of it is
I love
also
this family.
Yeah, I liked their family, and I think that they want Joe to stay too. He's very likable, and I think that he brings a new demographic to the house. Boogie kind of like acts like like a 15-year-old, so he's not really like one of the older guys, but Joe.
Well, he is still stuck in the 90s.
Yeah, no, he is. But I think that I could tell that Will was going to go home when they showed the fluff piece, because they wouldn't show the fluff piece if he was going out the door.
Interesting. Yeah.
So that was when I realized that Joe was going to stay.
So today they had the replacement nominee ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
Jen finally on the block.
Oh, well, thank God. Except she's going to stay because everyone wants Boogie
Well,
out.
I don't know. What do you think? You think Boogie's definitely out? You think it's over for him?
I think that if they are smart in that house, they're going to get him out, because if they don't, then Boogie and Frank are going to go ahead and team up with the other side of the house and run it.
I'm trying to see who would have what vote. I messed up the website here.
It's easy to think, because the other side, the Quack Pack has the votes.
Unless something shifts.
Unless something shifts, but I don't think it will.
Shane is screwed next week. He really is. He's definitely going on the
screwed
block.
on Thursday.
Right.
He could be screwed
With
on
this whole
Thursday.
double eviction.
Right.
Yeah. Because he's not competing. I wonder if any of them knew that there's a double eviction. They had to have had a theory of it. I mean, if you knew there was a double eviction, I would not be HOH. I would not want to be HOH.
Right.
Because it was him and Danielle. I would have rather had Danielle. Like, their strategies are all screwed up.
Right.
If I was Shane and I saw Danielle is behind, but not like a crazy amount, I would have made sure she gets it.
Right.
I would have slowed down and just stood there and be like, "You're gonna win this," because she probably would have beat Dan at that point because she was ahead, she was far ahead.
Right.
I would have thrown that HOH. No, if I knew that there was a double eviction, because the last thing you want to be is that HOH before the double eviction.
Yeah, that's never a good thing.
It's never good.
No time to politic. No
No time to do anything. So now you're stuck with Frank possibly winning HOH unless it's a trivia type thing. Then it could be Ian could win it. Brittany could win it. Dan could win it. Definitely not Ashley or Danielle.
Right.
That's not happening.
What does Shane say when he puts up Jen?
I don't know. Well, we don't know because they don't air
show
that.
it.
Yeah, they don't show that. So we don't know. But I'm sure it was just like a replacement nominee. Joe's been up on there.
It could turn out that they decide to get a floater out and vote for Jen.
Yeah. Boogie could give.
Let's
but
think
that would
about
be
this.
really stupid.
Let's see who's going to vote for who. Brittany, Shane, Ian, Danielle, and Joe, I think, are all definitely going to vote to get out Mike.
But if Boogie came over to Shane and Brittany and with Frank and said, let's do a Final Four deal right now and stick to it, Boogie's staying.
With Shane and who?
Shane and Brittany.
No, Brittany doesn't trust him.
Now.
No.
But if you're Brittany, who? Brittany doesn't trust who? Boogie?
Yeah. It's the whole reason why
Nobody
he's on the
should.
block.
I mean, who else do you trust in there? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more weeks. 4 more weeks of elimination
Boogie has
after
to be
this
gone.
week.
That's the whole plan. That was the whole purpose of putting them both up. So it's Boogie's out.
What was my pick? Do you remember what my pick was? My original pick? It was Shane, Brittany, Frank, and who else?
I think it was Will.
And Will. Yeah, I'm down one. And Will
I'm
should
surprised
not.
they didn't put up Ashley because I think that would have been a good one since she's kind of useless now.
I don't
anyway,
want her to
she
go
claims
home.
She has these back problems. I don't want her either, but it's just this whole back problem issue is just like, oh, I can't compete.
But Jen got hurt too. Jen and her both got hurt, and
Ian got hurt too.
And Joe.
Last night.
Yeah. Well, do you want to say what happened with Ian?
Sure, why not?
Go ahead.
I mean, as long as everybody knows that these are all spoilers. They were playing badminton last night, and apparently Ian twisted his ankle pretty badly, bad enough that they had to have a medic come out and assist him and patch him up.
Oh.
And he was actually taken out of the house, I think, for an hour or two to get him wrapped up and whatnot.
And probably get x-rays and stuff.
Yeah, they probably checked on him and made sure he was fine.
Jeez.
But I mean, well, I'm looking at pictures from today. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to look at the feed today, and I don't see him in any picture. I'm sure he was there for
He's
the nomination.
there. I saw him just before the show. He was actually sitting in the pool.
Okay. But Ian is an ally to everybody, so I don't think he'll be eliminated. The next couple of weeks, let's see. Let me just go here for the next couple of weeks of.
Well, I think Big Brother
I keep
has,
losing the
and
page.
CBS kind of has an invested interest in keeping Ian around too, because he sort of is everybody's favorite house guest in the house. So,
Well, you know what?
Absolutely.
There's no villain in this house. There's absolutely zero villains. I mean, Boogie is the closest
Joe, Frank,
thing.
and Boogie.
Joe, Frank, and Boogie. No, Joe's not a villain.
Always screaming in his.
Yeah, but he's not a villain. I mean, I'm talking like Shima from Big Brother 11.
Right.
You know, even Russell was a villain.
Jesse.
To some,
But we
Jesse.
did have Willie.
Well, that was an
Rachel.
interesting
Somewhat of a villain.
conversation that they were having at the pool table. Boogie was playing with Ian, and they were talking about how they
Boogie was
probably-
playing with Ian. You.
yes, during at the pool table, and they were discussing what Big Brother is going to do next, and that it's not going to be an all-star, that Ian believes it's going to be good versus evil in the next round. And they were
He
trying,
put himself in the evil category.
He put
not
himself in
evil.
the evil category, and Boogie's like, you are so not in the evil category.
You know where that comes from? The good versus evil. That rumor.
Mm-hmm.
I had this discussion with Evil Dick on the phone. He pretty much started that entire rumor.
Oh.
That it's going to be good versus evil because that's what Survivor did.
Right.
But who would they do good versus evil? It's going to be Dick, Janelle, Rachel.
Right.
Who else do you put in
Jesse.
there? Jesse wasn't. I mean, Jesse was dumb.
But everybody hates Jesse.
They hate him, but he wasn't like.
They
like
hate him.
Like a smart. Okay, fine, Jesse. Who else do you put in there?
Frank.
Frank is not evil.
But he's with Boogie.
Yeah, but Boogie. I don't think Boogie was evil either. I think Well, yeah, Boogie will go on the evil side. Boogie,
And
Dr.
Will.
Will. Okay, fine. You have
They have
6 players
enough.
there. And then who do you put on the good side?
Jeff and Jordan.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to see them again.
Brittany.
I don't want to see... Brittany's an ass.
But she's not evil.
You want to put Brittany in there. Brittany wouldn't be in there.
She would be.
Telling you right now. It would be Dan.
Yeah.
You'd have somebody I don't even remember from Big Brother 10. I don't think there's enough strong. Oh, you know who? You know what you do? Matt would go on the evil side from Big Brother 12. Lawan is the greatest player in Big Brother history. I want to see Lawan enter into this house.
Yes.
And you know what you do? You just get him to self-evict himself.
No, you know what would be so amazing if the box is Luan.
And he's like, I'm back.
The question mark box.
That was it.
And that was the big twist. He comes back now like 2 seasons later.
I would give so much credit to Big Brother if that was the twist.
Amazing.
That was Pandora's box.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody that's listening and doesn't know what we're talking about, at the end of yesterday's episode, there were these little playground balls leading into the
arcade room.
I think it was the parlor room or something like that.
Arcade
they have
room.
this claw machine set up, and inside the claw machine there is a box with a question mark on it. So now we don't know what it is, but everybody's trying to figure it out. They call Ian over, and Ian doesn't really know either.
Sorry. Jessica thought you said the clown machine, and I'm like, clown? And we're like mouthing it to each other. And she's like, clown. And she starts doing this. I'm like, no.
Revenge.
And I go, no.
The revenge
Claw.
of Jeff.
Claw machine. I think it'd be
the
brilliant.
Claw machine.
So what have they hinted at what it possibly could be? Ian thinks it's Pandora's box.
Whatsoever.
But
Which
I don't
it
think
probably is.
I really want it.
you
to
think
be
that's
Luan.
Pandora's box.
Something.
That's silly. Pandora's box is its own gimmick on its own.
Right.
You don't
Yes,
need
but
a
it has the question mark on it.
Yeah, but you're not going to double gimmick the
gimmick.
reveal, the gimmick. Yeah, it's the gimmick is that it's open or closed. It's not like a claw machine. You get this one and it goes to
They
another
are
one.
kind of thinking that it could possibly be about leaning into how many balls are actually in there and having to guess how many are in there.
And what do you got? Like
That
the
could be
diamond?
what
Money?
they're doing for the double eviction. As far as who's going to be the HOH, you have to guess how many balls are in there, and whoever is closest wins the HOH.
Yeah, but then they get money. What's the question mark about? Doesn't
How
make
How many
sense.
balls are in there?
And then what
I
happens
don't
when
like
you
it.
get
That's
it?
stupid. I don't like it. That's ridiculous.
I don't like it either, but
That doesn't make sense.
No, it's going to have to be something bigger. But we have to also remember there's 2 major twists that have not been used so far, and we're halfway through the game.
Coup d'etat.
The coup d'etat, if they're going to use it, and the diamond power of veto.
Oh, it's a box.
So
Could be like a diamond.
there could be a diamond in there. The winner gets it. Who knows? It might be that the claw machine starts working after they open up Pandora's box. You know,
I
it could,
really
it could
want
be,
it to be Luan.
I do too.
Oh my god, that would be the best thing ever. Oh my god, it's just so good.
They had a discussion today in the house about Danielle being the Jordan of this season.
She's the poor man's Jordan.
It is, and that makeup that she puts on her face.
Oh
she's
Jesus
a crazy
Christ!
Jordan.
She puts on so much makeup. It's like as soon as she knows that she has enough on when she can't feel her nose anymore. She has on like layers and
I know when to stop.
I know when to stop when I can't feel my nose anymore. I can touch it and I don't feel it. But she has like caked on makeup.
Foundation
She looks like a different. It's like she takes a face and she just
over hers.
It's a painting.
totally different
It is.
person. She doesn't even look like herself anymore, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I think she looks great without the makeup.
Without the makeup.
With the makeup. Maybe. I don't know.
When she peels it off, she's Luan.
It is
That's the
can you
big
imagine- They're
twist.
all Lawan. That's the twist. All of them. But back to not using those 2 things and strategically, this is great. They haven't used these 2, game changers yet.
Mm-hmm.
Frank is still in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised if the second he goes back up on that block.
Like this year's Rachel.
How did they give America gave the coup d'etat, right? America voted.
I think so.
They gave it to Jeff.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it was. I will not be surprised the second Frank is up, America votes to give someone a amazing power, and it's Frank. You know, the Frank
Right.
is in there. Whoever's in there, Frank wins. Here's his coup d'etat. He switches the nominations up.
Right.
And there you go.
Cancel.
You save him again. So now you saved him another week. Now he's into the third week, the final 3. He'll get in there easily.
Yeah.
Because after this week, there aren't too many more evictions left.
Right. There aren't.
Because there's 2 this week, so eliminate 2. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have about 6 more weeks. 5 more weeks. They could use 2 of those in the 5 weeks and to save whoever they want. It would be fascinating if it's down to Shane and Frank. That would have been a very good competitive season. These 2 guys are competing with each other from beginning to end. They've nominated each other. Did Frank nominate Shane? No, I don't think Shane's been on the block.
I don't think so.
He's come close every time, and he's
Right.
somehow gotten out of it.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I mean, like they've had targets on each other the entire season. It'd be great if they were up there.
Right.
I don't know. Who do you vote for? If you're in a jury house and it's down to Shane and Frank, who do you vote for? Frank. Because the guy played, he was up every week.
Yeah, he played really well. And with a little help from Big Brother.
Yeah, and I also
He
want to
did
see Psycho.
really
I
well.
want to see Psycho Sid on the finale.
Yeah.
That's why I want him on there.
Of course you do.
I made a ridiculous comment to Jessica while we were watching it. I'm like, you know, Frank's upper body is very much similar to his father's. Without explaining the whole, like, I guess Jessica forgot that. First of all, I don't even know why I even said it, but Jessica probably.
I still don't.
Jessica forgot that the father was a Russ. She's like, how do you know what his father's upper body looks like? It's like, why are you even observing that?
Yeah, it
I'm
was
like, I
all
don't
very
know.
creepy.
It was
a
very
creepy moment.
uncomfortable.
I'm still under it. I'm not over it.
All right, so back to to wrap it up today.
Yes.
Final 4s, guys. Now that Will is out for me,
Okay. Are you replacing him?
so let's replace him. I have
This has all changed too now that the coaches are playing.
yeah.
Which-
Right.
Yeah, so it's Brittany.
I don't want any of them
Shane.
to win.
What was my final 4? Shane, Frank, Will, and who else? I think I always said Brittany.
I don't know.
No, you couldn't have the
Suncast
first.
has it. Suncast has it.
So I guess who was my first
Who
one?
was his week?
All right, let me
one?
load this up. Hold on.
Yeah. We keep
I'd
forgetting.
say Brittany.
I don't know if
It's gonna
Brittany.
be Brittany, Frank.
Brittany, Frank,
Shane.
Shane, and Ian.
Your picks: first week, Shane, Danielle, Will, and Frank. Then you had Frank, JoJo, Will, and Ian. Then you changed it to Shane, Janelle, Brittany, and Ian. Then you
Jesus
changed
Christ.
it again to Shane, Danielle, Will, and Frank.
It's like a manic depressive.
So your last guess was Shane, Danielle, Will, and Frank. So
I don't like-
you're out again.
Yeah. I'm still out 1. Danielle might make it. Danielle might make it far.
All right. So who are your final 4?
You know, because it's a double eviction, it's really screwed up this week.
Hmm.
But I don't know. Shane might not make it next week.
I'm gonna say Shane, Frank, Brittany, Ian.
Shane, Frank, Brittany, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Shane,
They're gonna have
Frank,
to.
Ian, and Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have to get rid of Ian at one point. They're gonna start realizing, oh my God, nobody's putting this guy up.
It's not gonna happen yet.
Maybe Jen will make it. Maybe Jen will make it to the final 2.
Put her in your final 2. See how far it gets you.
Let me do Frank 100%.
Mm.
Ian, Brittany, Dan. That's my final 4. Sticking to it.
Throw your pen down.
Throw my pen down. John, how about you? What's your final 4?
I'm actually going to go with the same 4.
Really?
I think that's a very good guess as far as what could happen.
We all have similar
I mean,
picks. Although
because
I think Dan's
obviously CBS is in the bag for Frank.
You know what, Frank?
And they would
Sh-
love to see the veterans stick it till the end as well.
I think Frank and Shane, it's like the U.S. and the USSR. Like they got these nukes pointed at each other, and one of them is gonna blow the other one up, and then the other one is gonna blow himself up, and they're both gonna be dead. And then Lawan is going to come, and he's going to dance his way to the final four.
I knew it.
And then it's going to be him and Dan to win the game, and he's going to turn around and be like, I don't want this game. I'm walking away. He's going to go into the diary room and turn to the camera and be like, I know there's something bigger. Hang on, America. 2022, Big Brother. I'm going to be the golden encrusted power of veto. Coup d'etat. Good night, everybody.
Good night.